quality okay though, for me?
So dirty.
Welcome everyone to the late game episode 47. My name is Lycan. With me we have Destiny and In Control as always, and our special guest this week, first guest in a while, it's going to be Cats. Cats, how you doing?
Doing good, man. How are you?
Doing well, thanks. What have you been up to?
Just same old, I guess. Not sure.
Yeah?
Very broad question, Lycan.
All right, well, let's spread that broadness all around. Jeff, how are you?
Good. Just been playing the Overwatch beta, having fun with that, and
Must
it is nice,
good.
Cats.
Ouch.
It's really nice.
Starting off with this already? Oh, jeez. I didn't bring my boxing gloves today. Sorry. Go ahead.
No boxing gloves, just his salt and my absorption of salt, I suppose.
Gotcha.
Excited for BlizzCon coming up. It's the last HOTS tournament. It's kind of cool to put to knowingly put, a final mark on HOTS, which has been pretty great. And this will be the last tournament ever of HOTS, unless someone like Rifkin or some weirdo hosts a tournament, I guess later. Which we didn't have any Wings Liberty tournament, so I'm guessing no.
Yeah.
And just pushing forward in November, it's gonna be really fun. So excited. Fallout 4 coming up as well. It's gonna be awesome.
Oh man, the Fallout 4 and the Legacy of the Void launch date are the same day. Everyone keeps saying.
Same day.
Oh man, that's rough.
What are you gonna do?
You're gonna be like literally ripped in half by your passion, aren't you, Steve? And you're like, on the one hand,
For me,
Legacy
no,
of
it's
the
a
Void,
really easy call. Nah, Legacy of the Void is an easy call there for me. I hate the Fallout games. I think Bethesda's...
Really?
Open world RPGs, I think, are massively overrated. I think the storytelling is lazy. The character development is non-existent.
We had this talk.
Yeah, I think I did.
Yeah.
And it's fucking Legacy of the Void. But yeah, but just like in general, in terms of like people choosing like what they want to watch, like not everybody has the same 15+ year attachment to StarCraft that I'm pretty sure most of us have do. So yeah,
I'm gonna actually ask. Like, this is not a humble brag, but like Cats, I know a few people at Blizzard. I'm gonna ask him because I spoke with someone who is not to be named, and it was down to 2 dates. And they have infinite reasons that I can't possibly attest to or name, and legal department, all this shit. Like they know everything I don't, but just pure speculation. Sharing the launch date with Fallout 4 seems really, really rough. So I want to ask.
Actually, there are a couple people in my chat that were discussing it earlier because I posed a question because it was strange, and I don't know. A lot of people are bringing up the fact that like this season, in terms of like game releases, is like really huge. That game developers want to release them this season, and that there are certain days that people tend. Is it on a Tuesday? Isn't it like always on a Tuesday that games are released? Yeah. So you have like a limited number of Tuesdays to choose from. You have to strategically position the launch so that you can like cash in on like I guess like Black Friday sales and shit too. And so I don't know. There might be like a whole bunch of like marketing ideology and shit that goes into it that maybe most people, or at least I've never really considered before. So
It might be a thing of the audience is not overlapping as well. Like, not as much anyway. I don't give a shit about Fallout 4. I don't even know what Fallout 3 was or Fallout 2, so...
I think you would be in, like, a very, very, very small minority of people. I think a lot of people, like, really care about Fallout. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a huge game. That's all it is. It's not like... They're not the same genre. They're not the same kind of games. It's just...
One of the most popular game series of, like, all time.
In this day and age, your launch, a lot of that is streaming it and in the world seeing it. It's like free advertising for you. So to share it with somebody else just means you're splitting stage time.
Yeah.
Yep. Steven, what have you been up to?
Nothing much. Same old, a little bit of Overwatch yesterday as well.
Yeah, it's good shit.
Pretty nice.
It's pretty nice. All right, cool. So let's...
I heard Soda Pop and didn't get a key there.
It's gonna
I wish that this is kind of getting off. I wish that Blizzard would like iron out like how they do that beta invite stuff a little bit more. Like, does it seem? I don't know. It seems a little bit unfair.
Here's the thing: is they said thousands of keys went out. All we're seeing though are the people on Twitter, YouTube, and Reddit that are saying, "Hey, I got a key," right? So it kind of seems.
But like I mean, like it's more. It comes down to it really is who you know. Like I'm pretty sure the only reason I got a key. keys because I know somebody on Skype who's able to give me like if you're somebody like there was that Jasper girl or whatever who's been working with doing like Blizzard and WoW stuff for how many years like didn't get a key
Panzer.
and like Panzer yeah and like
And then
I
there's
literally
this, like there's a dude called Juno on Twitter that has 2 keys on both of his accounts, and he doesn't
Sure.
want to use either.
yeah, sure. Or there's a dude called Destiny who like has spent like the past like 5 years publicly shitting on Blizzard like as hard as possible, and then I got a key, and it's like if I was somebody that had worked a lot with Blizzard and was loyal, like I would be pretty salty. Like I would be really salty. Like somebody I guess like Soda Pop and not getting a key, like I could understand because apparently he encourages like account sharing and has been banned multiple times or whatever. But there are a couple people where it's like. No, I'm not even making that up. Like, right? Hasn't that been a thing with Soda Poppin'?
I don't know.
Oh, I'm pretty sure it has been because a lot of people are saying his relationship with Blizzard was really strained because of his like association with sites that encourage like account sharing and shit like that. And he's been banned from WoW. But
I've always felt like my relationship with Blizzard is kind of strained as well, and I didn't get a key, so.
sure.
So now you know, right?
Now I know for sure.
Now you know for sure.
No,
What you
they said they didn't want like basically we were trying to start a like a root Overwatch team, and that was the like my pitch to give me keys.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
But they said they didn't want competitive players in yet, but rather just like players that are gonna be competitive, not obviously there would be a flaw, but yeah.
Right. Yeah. All right. Well, we can hash out Overwatch. We're going to have a lot of time to do it. In fact, if you guys want to talk about Overwatch, you could stick around after the late game for Talking Guns Overwatch premiere. But in the meantime, let's get down to StarCraft 2 and talk about what's going on. This is going to be the final episode of the late game with HOTS out. It was the last one. There won't be one next week. So this will be the last HOTS episode of the late game. Then it will be Legacy of the Void from then on out. Not that the Legacy of this, whatever. All right, let's go into the first topic. It's going to be Kat's article on region locking. Katz, you brought up a lot of interesting points. It's kind of a joke now because this will be the 3rd week that we've talked about region locking on the show. But,
only the 3rd?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
I brought it up two.
Oh, that is right. We are talking region.
Because it feels like we talked about this more than 3 times, but go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, it gets brought up every now and then, but like I brought it up as a main topic 2 weeks ago, and then I kind of rehashed it last week, and Jeff wanted to strangle me. And we're going to do it one more time, see if we can get him to pull the trigger.
Well, with an article, it makes more sense, just as you bring, like, just as a topic of discussion to bring up.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not, or I guess for Cats, I don't know how much you give it. We're not, like, shitting on you or the article. It's just that this is something that we talk about, like, it seems like every...
Oh, no, I get it.
Show. Yeah, everybody...
No, and that's why the article went out, too, right? Because it was a hot topic, and it's something that should be addressed, so...
Yeah, sure.
So I fully believe, Cats, that you are 100% capable of being unbiased when it comes to writing this, because you do have one of the powerhouses in the WCS North America scene. You have a guy who was one of the champions this year, season 2, and so let's we'll kind of keep off that. I guess I really want to know.
I wouldn't mind touching on that if you want.
Okay, well, let's start with that then. I want to, if you look at it, when you look at Hydra going up against someone, let's say, since he's always in Challenger, when he gets to Challenger the next season, do you ever worry about him getting knocked out, or do you see like, nope, that's Hydra. He's gonna be round of 8. He'll be in the finals. I'm not worried.
I mean, Hydra is probably, like in most people's opinions, I think the strongest player in the current system, but it's StarCraft 2, and it's a game of chance in many ways. So yeah, of course, I always worry every match.
Okay, so the reason I ask that is because I feel when I've been watching this year, when I see Pult, Hydra, 4GG, when they have to go up against someone, they're going up against a foreigner, I never feel like, oh man, it's going to be a tough battle. I'm always like, this is going to be hard for the foreigner. And I feel like the Koreans, as they keep coming in, depending on the caliber of the Korean that comes in, of course, but as they come in, they are very dominant. They are going to be dominant in this scene. So I'd like your thoughts, I guess, on how that doesn't put us at risk of having WCS continue to be the way it always has been. I mean, granted, we saw with Lobo, yes, but also 2 of the 3 were, Korean champions.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that is a concern for me as well. Like, if you read the full article, you'll see that is a concern. And going back to where things were, where there was basically no region unlock. I think that no matter what, if we keep the soft region lock, it's still better than when we had a region unlock, because those Koreans are actually going to be in the US or in Europe contributing to that ecosystem, right? But so that on that regard, it's always going to be better. But yeah, I addressed that. I said how many Koreans is too many Koreans, and I think that Blizzard should definitely look at some systems that exist in the real world to try and fix that, make it not a reality, make it not happen.
All right. And Jeff, Steven, we've had your opinions on the matter of region locking and all that the last 2 weeks, but let's talk about something else that you brought up, Cats, that was really interesting, the ladder and making it more viable. Can you kind of just give a rundown for the viewers on your ideas there?
Sure. First of all, the viewers, if you're interested in it, and I'm guessing you are in the future of StarCraft 2, if you're watching the late game, go and read the article, the full article. I make a lot of points that are really extensive, and I think that to get all those points across, reading the full article is the best thing. But yeah, basically, as far as the ladder goes, assuming that they kept a soft region lock, I think that the best way to fix the ladder, which I established throughout the article, is fucked right now, would be to create incentives within each ladder to motivate players in that region or even outside of that region to play in the ladder. Like right now, NA is a joke. No one plays NA. Like, I
think I was talking to No Regret yesterday. He said there are 50 open GM spots right now.
That's Heart of the Swarm, of course, but yeah, Heart of the Swarm, that's the case because everyone's playing Legacy of the Void.
Oh yeah, sure. That's still pretty crazy. Like, is it the same on EU or KR that there are 50 open slots? I
actually don't know, but just in terms of like ladder, like what I mean when I say no one plays on NA, I mean most of the people that you would consider NA competitive players don't play on NA or barely play on NA, right? Like there's people that have ping issues, like bails on puck or prefer not to play on NA or prefer to play on NA just because of ping issues. But for the most part, I think that most of the better players play on Korea or EU, and that's terrible, obviously, for up-and-coming players in NA.
Mm-hmm. All right, Jeff, how do you feel about taking the ladder in a way that's going to contribute to the WCS system?
I'm down for the idea, something along those lines. I mean, we've kind of mentioned this before, too, and I think the problem with that is that everyone agrees, like, incentivizing the ladder is a really good way to bolster the scene. Like Europe had it with that, I don't even know what to call it, that house that had MC and all those guys there. Like, they actually played the European ladder, a good 5 or 6 of them, and those 5 or 6 alone, combined with, like, at the time, the 1 or 2 My Insanity guys and a couple other guys, it was like the whole scene got a lot better from that because the top tier non-Koreans were on a regular basis playing 5, 10, 15 games against MC caliber Korean players that would then go to tournaments and win those tournaments or place very highly. So they got that practice. On NA, a lot of the Koreans that have come over, they either have such good ping to Korea that they don't play on the NA ladder, or they just like grin and bear it. Like I know Polt and Violet over in fucking Atlanta like still play the Korean server, and there's no way they have a good ping. They're just like, this is better than playing NA, and it's right, because then every once in a while, like we had a couple WCS seasons where it was like, well, you have to have 200 games or whatever, so they would play an off race and go 150 and 50 and like it would be a joke. It was just silly, and that's not even good practice against them because it's like very good off race, but obviously not top tier Korean is what we're playing against. So there has to be something for the NA scene in particular, and now European scene as well, because a lot of those Koreans did move out or were caught in a scandal. And anything like WCS points or something like that would be really good, but I guess a full circle, long-winded way, I apologize, but it's like then Blizzard has to be super fucking on top of anti-hack. It cannot be waves. It cannot be monthly. It has to be like bi-weekly, like, because it's going to happen that much. WCS points, and the system's so awesome that WCS points translate to really real money very quick. Like, just qualifying in Challenger League is, what, $2,000 or something like that? Like, there's a ton of 16-year-olds that don't give a fuck. They'll absolutely cheat, and then when they get caught, they'll reinvent themselves with a name, Booger Snot 425, and they'll be up next season. So you have to probably
disagree with that.
To amend that, you say 16-year-olds. I mean, I think even older people, like, there's a lot of people that would jump on that. Sorry,
I would actually tend to disagree with that, and it's something that's been brought up a lot in the Reddit thread and the feedback, and at first glance, it seems like something that could become a problem. But if you really think about it, right now, the way WCS points they're only good for BlizzCon, right? They won't make you qualify into Challenger or Premier. That's a separate tournament. So if you really think about it, the only players that will reap benefits out of the WCS points given through ladder would be outside of Korea, 2, 3, 4, 5 players maybe that have a realistic shot at going to BlizzCon, right? Now that doesn't mean that every competitive player will not.
No, this is where we disagree. Like, no, you're right. The guys that would qualify for BlizzCon are not going to cheat. The guys that would qualify for BlizzCon or other tournaments are going to face otherwise very good non-Koreans that are then cheating to up their chances of just getting more points, more money, or whatever, and they could actually hurt somebody.
Money, like points don't translate into money, right? And those hackers or cheaters are going to be playing everyone alike, just like they always have. Like,
but it's short-sighted though, because WCS points aren't necessarily just WCS points. If you're on top of the ladder, you're qualifying for teams, you're being sponsored by people, you're getting sent to tournaments, and if you're found out to be a hacker, you're delegitimizing the scene.
Oh, of course, but I mean, is that a thing? That I don't think so.
Is cheating a thing to get notoriety, Cats? Is that what you're asking?
Well, no. Of course that is, but I mean, I don't know. I've never had a cheater on my team that I can recall. We have TT1 who used to, or we used to have TT1 who used to cheat in Brood War, but
yeah.
I don't think it's so much. I don't think so much your team, because your team is very different, or not even your team, but like all the new teams that show up, all the new teams that show up that kind of like, you know, invite people that are known that nobody really knows about that much that happen to be hackers or whatever, seem to fall into that trap more so than like established people in the scene who knows.
I also just don't think we should have the argument in favor of not more governing of the ladder. Like, I don't know that argument, Kat.
Of course not. No. I mean, I'm all for that. I'm just saying that it's not a major issue the way I see it, because again, only a handful of people.
I would hope you're right. I just wouldn't want it to become an issue at all, is what I'm saying.
So I think that even if it is an issue, I think what Cass is saying is that's not like a deal breaker. Like, that wouldn't be something that would prevent.
Yeah, exactly. What I'm saying is go through this, because even if that happens, it's still better than what we have.
Because even right now, and I've heard it from Koreans, I don't know if you guys heard different things, even what it's like right now without ladder meaning anything, there are still a fuck ton of hackers. Well, maybe not as of recently after the last patch, but like 6 months ago to a year ago, there were a fuck ton of hackers on every server. Even in Korea, there were a ton of hackers, even in mid-height GM. Like, there were a ton of hackers on every server. So
they're all barcodes too. So.
Yeah. So it's a problem that exists even now.
All right,
like,
so
the ladder
two things. Let's talk about, first of all, let's talk about specifically the ladder, okay? And let's say that Blizzard moves forward with Cat's idea. The ladder is now incentivized. It now plays into the WCS system. And now everyone is playing the ladder. They have to play the ladder. They want to play the ladder. And you get the best players continuing to build up that ecosystem. Is there a threshold? And I'm asking you guys this because I've never been at the top of the ladder. Is there a threshold where at a certain point, hacking can't get you any higher? So you say that, okay, once you hit the top 16 GM on NA, there's a lot of integrity there just because map hackers cannot breach that.
No, of course not.
So the way that hacking is like using steroids in real life, okay? So a lot of people think that when it comes to performance enhancing drugs that you just like pop steroids and all of a sudden you're a fucking monster. But that's not how it works. Like, usually if you're on like some kind of like supplement stack or whatever of like illegal drugs and you're doing like anything athletic, there's still a fuck ton of work going into it too. But the cheating gives you that little edge over legitimate competitors that will boost you over them. So in an area where everybody is competing a ton and there's like cutthroat competition, everybody's trying their hardest, sometimes it can be that hack might be the difference between you being like top 10 GM in like a really competitive server versus top 50 GM. Like, that hack is the thing that boosts you over a little bit. A hack isn't going to take like a diamond level player and elevate them to god tier status on the level. What hacks do is they take players that are pretty fucking good and then make them the best and give them edges over players that otherwise should be beating them most of the time.
Yep.
Yeah, it's hardly ever are they the best, right? If you're close to being the best, you're aiming to win tournaments, probably not hacking. Like, that's just how it's always been. But yeah, I agree. I mean, hacking. But the other thing about hacking too is whoever you're playing on the ladder, assuming that the ladder is working properly and you're playing someone close to your skill level, that's the skill level that they have while hacking already, right? So your chances to win against a hacker are just as good as your chances to win against a non-hacker while playing on the ladder. Now, that is not to say that if I start hacking, I will beat more people more consistently, right, than I would otherwise.
All right, so then outside of the ladder, and Steve and I kind of talked about this yesterday, and this is my suggestion. I'd like your guys' opinions on it. If they did kind of like with CEVO and what ESEA do for Counter-Strike, they have servers that, you know, are a little better at detecting hacks and all that and keeping them out. if for WCS qualifiers, if you play, you have to download something that monitors your system during your games to make sure that you don't have any third-party program running that could be hacking. Obviously, that's not foolproof, but it's something that would give Blizzard a very strong anti-cheat measure, especially for the system, the points, you know, you're talking about, Jeff.
This isn't a point of discussion, though. Unfortunately, I wish it were. It's just Blizzard and their infinite legal boundaries that they can and cannot cross would never, as a company, even remotely suggest that someone downloads a third party, or not even a third party, just a program.
If you wanted to be competitive in WCS, they could theoretically make it part of the contract. If you want to do this, then you have to download this anti-cheat as part of your like WCS competitive contract. Like they could do it. I mean, would it be a popular move?
Honest,
I mean,
we've talked about this, and to be honest, you could be right. You absolutely could be right. And I'm not on the Blizzard legal team, but I'm telling you, this is a Lycan moment where it's so completely not going to happen that we can talk about it all you want, but they just would never. No Blizzard approval would ever be stamped on some. This is only for WCS competitive. Nope. Their legal team would say we're never going to go near that.
Yeah, and that's kind of why I left the article very open-ended and gave a lot of options, right? So because I don't know what lines they can and can't cross or what they can and can't do within a certain amount of time, and that's kind of why I don't think that the hackers or the cheaters would be an issue with the system, or at least not a major issue enough to be concerned about it, so that we don't go through with the system.
I think you're right, and they have mentioned ladder before. It is in the topic of discussion somewhere in there, be it a qualifier for Challenger, be it just WCS points, but some way to incentivize ladder, because they know that's kind of the lifeblood of the various scenes. But like I said, maybe it's not a deal breaker, but it's absolutely paramount that in alignment with that discussion would be stepping up the governing, because even let's take cheating out of the way, like hacking. The other form of cheating that absolutely would happen is, oh, you're 10 points out? Well, oh, look at this. You know, just the night before, all 20 of us, your friends in the pro gaming house with you, all lost games. They're 5 minutes long, and all of a sudden you have enough WCS points to be facing the number 7 guy, which is the guy that exactly want. Like, that's kind of shit.
Right? Like,
and that happened. Yeah. That even happened in the qualifiers for my tournament.
All the time, yeah. All the time. We had Liquid hosted tournaments before through the ladder, and that was every single one. Like, they would have to host the tournament like 3 days later, and in those 3 days, they'd be fucking holding interviews with people. Like, tell me about this match. We're watching this replay here. So, it's and to a certain extent, by the way, like I can actually shoot myself in the foot with this argument, because it's like, you know, it's gaming. You're always going to have people that take the word gaming and instead of playing the game are gaming it in a different way. They're gaming the system. They're gaming the laws of the game. You know, like, it's going to happen. So I don't think that's a reason not to. I guess I'm shoehorning my argument that let's do that, but let's also get a more active Blizzard with the community that recognizes that all of its people don't eat gumdrops and shit rainbows. Some of those people are out there to ruin other people's day, or just selfishly make their own day better, and they don't care how many people's feet they stomp on. So I would really like a system like this that incentivizes the ladder, but also crushes the people that inevitably will be coming through the woodwork to fucking ruin everyone else's day.
That would be the dream, obviously.
Completely agree. All right, before we move on, Cats, overall, with the regional locking, the article was great. Guys, if you didn't read it, you got to check it out. Cats, you can feel free to link if you in the chat if you have it up, and definitely check it out. There's a lot coming. I imagine that we're going to get an announcement in the next 2 months. You know, maybe as soon as BlizzCon ends, maybe at BlizzCon. They're talking about the future of StarCraft during one of the panels. So perhaps that's where they'll discuss more about the future of WCS, and we'll see where it goes and if it aligns at all with what Cats is talking about. Cats, do you have any final thoughts before we move topics?
Not really. I mean, I was expecting a little bit more of a discussion, maybe people bringing up things that were inconsistent in the article or something like that, so we could talk about it. But I guess if everyone's pretty much in agreement, and that's what the poll shows as well. Like, It seems like everyone's for it. So
I mean,
everyone's for what?
For pretty much the whole article. You're not.
Yeah, sure.
Steven's got.
No, I mean it's true. I mean it's true. Every single tournament that's ever gone on that's encouraged ladder participation has always had unanimously positive feedback. Yeah. I've never seen anything negative.
Well, the article is not just about ladder, right?
Not just about, but about the regional locking and
So I disagree with that. I don't. Well, hold on. I do disagree, but you explained yourself very well, and there's no I think that my point is, I don't know what discussion it would that would come from it. I disagree. I think it should be fully region locked so that we just have all foreigners fun and games. But you made very good points about, if we get people in here and they have to participate and they have to play with us, we might get like a handful more Lobos that come in and are able to actually do something.
We'll have a higher tier, a higher level foreigner. That's obviously, to me, a hard region lock is still much better than a no region lock. Even though that clearly would, not be good for my team, but I think that next best to the soft region lock that we currently have would be a hard region lock as well. But that would be, I think, worse for the player level overall, and I think that we're 5 years behind on catching up to Korea now. So I think we need their help.
Yeah, I think I also always worry about the work ethic of the foreign player and all that, and I do want to see, we make this change, like let's say that this goes through and it says soft region lock going into 2016, we've theory crafted, hey, we've seen in the past with these players playing in these different regions, it's affected everyone's become better. That's good, great, grand, awesome. But that's at this point, with the way that StarCraft has been going, that still you still need that passion. You need that passion from the players to want to be that good, to want to be that great, and to
right. But they've never had the tools. You question, exactly. Whenever you question the foreign methods or how hard they're committing into something, I've never found that fair because we've never had the tools. And over the last 5 years, I've always said we're always behind Korea. We're always behind here, and that's something that I detail and talk in detail in the article. Foreigners are not lazy. Foreigners are not genetically worse than Koreans. We just don't have the same tools.
Yeah, and like a lot of people, and this is true, I know for a fact this is true in the StarCraft scene, and I know for a fact it's true in the League scene. Ladder is a very fucking important part of being competitive that some people still seem to not understand. Like a lot of people that practice in Korea on League and in fucking StarCraft, the ladder is a big part of that practice, and having access to a good ladder is really fucking important. Some players, like from everything I've ever talked to about Scarlet, said that ladder was the majority of her practice. It's not going to Korea to practice in-house and only scrim with Koreans. It's just the fact that you can go there and take part in a really fucking good ladder with a lot of competitive players on it. Like, that shit is so important. And the American ladder, the NA ladder, is such a fucking joke right now. Like, even when I quit playing like a year and a half ago, like, you would literally, if you would get to like mid-GM, you're playing like 4 or 5 people, like every single fucking day. It's the same 4 or 5 people. And half of them are like no regret on different accounts.
You can tell by the timing of the Ling attack.
Yeah,
Well, go ahead.
No,
our other topics, Cats, are really short. It's a short episode today, so if there's anything that we didn't bring up that you want to talk about, we absolutely can.
No, I just like that you touched on those points so that I could address them, because I think that foreigners.
Well, what we can do too is like Cats can think about it and then write a 10-page article about this after.
I could do that. Yeah,
we can give it 2 minutes talk time next episode.
Next episode in 4 years maybe.
Yeah, Cats is only, I think he's had like a 6-month period between each episode. So.
Oh, okay. So he's a biannual.
Like Brock Lesnar, dude.
Yep.
That's good.
All right. Let's. The next topic is going to be BlizzCon. It's coming on the horizon. We've talked about this quite in depth before, so we're going to keep this short and sweet. Cats, we'll start with you as the guest. Who's your boy to take BlizzCon this year? I mean, all right, I know you have a little bias, but
Innovation is the strongest player at BlizzCon, and players with everyone has a shot at taking it, right? I think that Hydra is in the upper half, and he can definitely win. But I think Innovation is most likely to win.
All right, is there anyone you're worried about for Hydra? Like, you think
everyone.
Everyone, but I think we'll win against Dream. Hydra's been preparing really hard for that. We've been talking a lot. Now the problem too is, and I want to touch on this, is Blizzard really fucked up as far as BlizzCon is concerned by not locking Legacy of the Void, because everyone is playing Legacy of the Void. Finding practice partners for Hydra has been like the hardest thing in the world, because there's like 3 good foreign Terrans and they're playing Legacy of the Void. So and everyone in the Kespa system, and again this speaks a lot to what I was talking about, right? Like where our region is so fucking weak compared to Korea. Everyone in the Kespa system we can't trust because they might go with Dream instead. Like everyone in CJ is most likely already playing Legacy of the Void, and those are Hydra's.
That was a weird choice. I don't know why. November 2nd it goes down. The game comes out literally a week later.
I think I kind of know why, and that's because I feel like they rushed the game. The game didn't feel complete, and I was really sad when they said the game is releasing in a couple months. I was like, really? Like, is it right?
Yeah. Right
So-
on the advent of like all these big macro changes and everything, and the unit
Yeah.
tweaks that still haven't really been thoroughly tested. I'm sure the single player is probably ready to ship, but yeah, the multiplayer seems a little bit rough around the edges.
Yeah,
right now.
and that's why I think they had to not lock it. But
Very curious. Very curious. I mean, I wonder why not December? Like, have BlizzCon, shut down the beta, have people. I guess I don't know. They like the. I think they like the idea of BlizzCon being like a big huzzah, you know, and then literally a day or two after BlizzCon, now everyone go out and buy Legacy of the Void. And I think people will.
Hype it to this. Yeah,
I think they will. I think that's a good strategy. But for us in the esports, which granted we also have to recognize is obviously. It's actually a really big. I wouldn't call it an afterthought, but I think it's the lesser thought. They want to sell 20 million copies of Legacy of Void, which they probably won't. But they want to sell as much as they can, and then after that, make esports work. And if esports takes a slight hit in the teeth with things like practice partners are hard to find and people played the beta all the way up until launch, then okay, I get that. I guess.
Yeah, I get it as well. I mean, you can't fault them for it. The only thing is, because the only thing is they should have put more fucking people to work on it, I guess, so that we weren't in a position where the game is not ready and they're announcing launch 2 months later.
They have more people on this than I think anything else, is what they would tell you.
Yeah, a huge team.
Good.
For what? Okay. I don't.
Legacy of the Void.
No, I know, but I mean, like, what do you mean, huge team doing what?
So
Team one is gigantic.
Yeah.
For working on like the single player stuff, I definitely believe that, sure. But I doubt it for the multiplayer. Yeah, sure. Just StarCraft. Yeah, so single player stuff, sure, is a huge endeavor, right? All of the programming and the scripting and whatnot for the campaign and shit, and then the art for all the FMVs and everything. Yeah, sure.
Cats, now's your chance to stand up to Destiny for that Overwatch key.
What Overwatch?
What Overwatch? What?
Here, I'll show you.
What are we saying?
Steven, that's pessimistic. I think Blizzard has the perfectly exact the right amount of people in StarCraft, both esports and single player. The game's gonna be fantastic when it launches. Probably the best.
For some positivity.
Probably the best.
That's
lots
how I
of
got my
updates
bid.
coming. Lots of updates coming to StarCraft that look like they were being ported over from Heroes, which is a good thing.
You will shit your pants, Steven. You will literally shit your pants.
Oh, let's talk.
Or?
Hold on. First of all, Jeff, who's your money on for BlizzCon?
I mean, it's so lame to say this, but I guess Hero has to be one of your favorites. I definitely agree Innovation is just eating people alive right now and looks incredible. And it's so cliche because it's so funny because at BlizzCon, all the caster cliches actually become semi-true. It's like, oh, these guys are all such good players. At BlizzCon, they actually all fucking are. Like, obviously, there's a few outliers, Lilbo and a couple others that just don't have that chance at all. But then there's like 9 of 16 that are like all easy winners. They all easily could just be like, this is the tournament where I turn monster mode on, and they don't lose a game, and they just kill everyone. But I pick Hero. Hero's been dominating for the longest. I don't know if he's red hot right now, but he just looks sharp.
All right, let's. What's that, Cats?
No, yeah. I mean, if Hero or Innovation wins, then or Life even, that's kind of good note to end Heart of the Swarm on, right? Because it's like the 3 maybe most dominant of each race throughout. So I wouldn't mind that, but of course, I want Hydra to win, and I think he has what it takes.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, let's talk about these Archon mode show matches. Boxer and MVP teaming up against Yellow and Nesty. That's the one I'm looking forward to. I mean, Jeff, what does it say to your StarCraft heart to see that coming out?
Nah, nothing to me actually.
No?
It's awesome fan service. It's cool to see Boxer. He's always been one of the most awesome and fun players. If there ever was a president of StarCraft, it definitely is Boxer. Like, the guy he just has an aura about him. To touch him is magical, like one of those kind of weird things. The other guys, like, Yellow fell off hard. He's been doing these like show match promotion things since like 2008 or 9, and he's sucked in every single one of them for the most part.
Savage.
But people fucking love him, deservedly so, because when he was in form, he was one of the most fun. And his rivalry against Boxer was incredible. Nesty, I don't even know has been playing StarCraft. I have not heard this name in ages. MVP, another great player, but he stopped playing for like medical reasons, which is really sad. But they're like, come on out, like just fight through your arthritic pain for one more match. He's like, okay, like if you give me enough money, I'll do it. And they're like, yeah, we'll give you enough money. So it's like it's fun and it's fan service to the fans and stuff like that. But for me, I'm actually more interested, but still not super excited for the other Archon show, which I'm sure we'll talk about in a second. But this will be great, and there's people out there that are calling me an idiot right now, deservedly so, because they would drink boxers' urine, and that's fine, and that's great.
See,
and
Jeff is that panel in the last Rocky movie that we're all telling Rocky that he can't come back and box anymore because he's old and washed up. Way to go, Jeff. You're
Way to go,
those
Jeff.
people now.
I accept. You're right. You're probably right.
You're those people.
I Craig Assam, dude. I never say Craig Assam. It's pretty sweet, man. Yellow is obviously amazing, but more than that, it's gonna be really good for the Korean scene watching, because Yellow is actually bigger than Boxer in Korea, or just as big, and they're both absolutely gigantic.
Is that actually true?
Yeah, because
Boxer is like one of the only people that actually like transcends gamer culture. Like he's been on shows. And his wife is relatively popular too.
Yellow's not as big, but he's definitely huge.
No. I think that the thing is that Yellow is bigger as a player and as a gamer. Boxer is. But Yellow, after his Brood War career, focused on like TV shows and stuff like that, much more than Boxer did. So in terms of popularity within population, maybe not in this particular demographic, but in terms of someone recognizing Yellow, I think would be more likely out on the streets than someone recognizing Boxer.
Well, I definitely agree that this is good for the Korean scene. I think that's a really good point that Kat's brought up. Like, Koreans are going to watch this, and if it's a good match and the Archon mode is fun, which it is, by the way, I feel like it's like a weird secret we still have.
If they practiced it, like Archon mode is a very particular thing, and if it's something that they just walk into and they didn't actually like practice it or do anything beforehand, like it's just gonna look kind of silly.
They're not grinding out 10-hour days, but
not grinding out 10 hours a day, but at least like getting like how the handoffs are gonna work. Like, are you gonna do this rather than just being like, hey, we're gonna play those games and it'll be cool. One of us is just macro, one of us is micro, and then they like never try and play it or whatever. Then it's just gonna be them fighting against each other. Yeah.
I'm sure.
It's the two most dominant forces during the early Brood War or StarCraft 1, and the two most dominant forces of the early StarCraft 2 days. So it's pretty sweet. It's pretty hype. But I think that the Circ players are going to get completely shit on.
All right. Second one is going to be MC and Huck playing Protoss versus Snoot and TLO playing Zerg. So, Jeff, you more excited for that one?
Competitively, yeah, certainly. Like, all these guys are active and playing Legacy of the Void pretty consistently right now. If I don't know their personal lives, but for the most part, I can make that guess. I know that Huck's been playing a lot of Archon mode 1 with MC. It'll be fun, and I actually really enjoy watching Archon mode. Like, I don't necessarily like that Red Bull did like all these tournaments from the beginning to end as Archon mode. I still do think it is a one-off thing. But I like it. It's the best one-off thing I think StarCraft's ever had outside of like 2 vs 2 and Brood War back in the day.
Yeah.
It was amazing. But since then, it hasn't been great. I still like it. Don't get me wrong. And there's been good 2 vs 2 teams and games, but it just didn't get the support that it needed. Archon mode is the way around that because it uses the 1v1 maps. It raises the skill. You can clearly see where there's 2 people playing. Like, it's fucking incredible, and I really enjoy it. So I'm excited for these matches.
All right, cool. I mean, I am too. These are guys that I didn't get to idolize, like Nesty and MVP. They were gone before I came into the scene. So this is kind of like a I've read about them sort of thing, and here they are coming back. Yeah. So I am excited for that. That's really it for BlizzCon, guys. I mean, we've got an exciting tournament coming up. It's going to be one of the best tournaments of the year. It's going to be the last HOTS tournament ever officially in the WCS circuit. Let's talk about real quick before we go into questions. Our last topic is just HOTS overall. I didn't ask you guys to prep anything. I'm kind of springing something on you right now.
God! Right? Oh, my show prep again! Fuck!
So my show prep. I'll go with.
It was all my fucking notes.
Out the window.
Jesus.
So Cats. At the end of HOTS, tell me. What is one of your favorite moments that you can recall? Whether it's a favorite tournament, a favorite just victory, a favorite tournament series. What is something from HOTS that is going to be like, that's one of my favorite memories?
I'm an egomaniac, so whenever people use my strategies, that's my favorite moments, man. I'm not really big on watching fucking... I'm not big on watching StarCraft. I'm big on playing StarCraft.
So that was the... what was it called? The GSL, or one of your boys used the spore crawler.
That was Solar and Pro League, I want to say.
Yeah. That was so like that kind of moment.
That kind of moment is my personal favorite, obviously. Yeah.
All right, Jeff. What about you?
Favorite moment of HOTS?
Yep.
You are spraying this on us. I've actually just really enjoyed the thorough competition of HOTS, like the imbalanced periods of time that we've had, which certainly there have been some. I feel like almost none of those, and yes, I'm even talking about the Storm hosts, have been up to where like Broodlord and Fester was. And it's just been a really enjoyable chunk of time. Like, having lived through all of WoW and before, obviously, I can tell you that the salt levels are almost imperceptibly lower, but are lower. I think people were more happy and accepting of HOTS, and I think it was a really enjoyable period that way. So that's kind of my generic safe PR answer, I suppose. Favorite moment? I guess, to be honest, it was Jaedong coming over to StarCraft 2, and that's just the pure fanboy in me, and I'm not doing the cheeky joke on the desk where I'm like, Jaedong's the best everything. I'm not. I, as a guy that grew up watching Jaedong play Brood War and staying up until 4 a.m. to see him playing like final after final after final in these epic battles, to see him come on the team, come into the scene, and like, he actually was pretty shit in the early stages, but like there were some exciting moments, and to get in to see how hard he works, by the way, that's kind of inspiring as well. He definitely is one of those guys that travels a bunch and his practice dips down pretty low, but when he practices, holy fuck, he works hard. And it's so cool to see someone work that hard and then go to a tournament and win, even though like so many people are kind of doubting you and like, you're kind of washed up and stuff like that. Like that emotional wave to watch happen was amazing, and probably the biggest thing that'll stick to me for HOTS.
Cool.
Yeah, he's such a cool dude too. And then for clarity, I guess Jeff used to be a Circ player back in Brood War.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or yeah.
Savior and Jaedong were my boys. Savior is obviously the spawn of Satan, and it's just too bad that he went that way. But Jaedong was always the guy. Like his playstyle was always the one that you just could not emulate. It's like, okay, on this map he's doing two base muta, and his micro is just on a different tier. It's like, get the fuck out of here. Savior was the like 200 APM slow map control, lurker based, awesome player that was like, okay, I can kind of do that on peaks to bake do and stuff like that. It was really fun.
Cool.
Not saying I could play like Savior, but there's going to be someone out there that only can play like no, but it was the more obtainable style that you could kind of emulate.
All right, Steven, what's a HOTS memory for you?
I'm going to, I don't know if I've ever publicly shared this, but I'm going to out Jeff as a big bully here.
You wouldn't be the first.
I don't know if this counts as specifically a HOTS memory, but one of the things that, so me, Jeff, and Rotterdam discovered something when we went to, it was Home Story Cup, 2 Home Story Cups ago.
I know. Yeah. Is this a McDonald's story?
No, it's actually a little bit worse than that. So,
shit.
Me, Jeff, and Rotterdam discovered that we identified the 3 tenets of Winterdom.
Oh,
so
fuck.
One of the things we realized was that, given the opportunity to, and I don't know why, this is like completely unprovoked, right? I think I might have been the first to notice, but given the opportunity to, Winter would always talk about how much money he's made, how much he has a girlfriend, and that he's 21 and it's time to drink. So all throughout the weekend when we were at or the week wherever, when we were at Homestory Cup, me, Jeff, and Rotterdam would like look at each other and we would say like one thing, and Winter would always bite and start talking about whatever thing. It was like dumb shit. Like I don't even remember. Like so it would be something stupid. Like we would be like, oh, like I can't pay like for my thing at the bakery. Can you pick this up? And then Winter would say like, oh yeah, like I make this in donations in like 5 minutes. Like every single time. Like he would jump on it. It was really funny.
You kind of started to bring this up last year after the Home Story Cup. It was the episode after, and you were like, "I don't know if I want to really bring it up." Now.
Oh, that might have been. Yeah. This might have been it. Then. Yeah, that might have been it. I thought it was
you didn't really go into it, but Jesus Christ,
it was pretty funny. I think at one point at the end, I just literally said all 3 of them like in a row.
It might have been.
I was like, yeah, good point. And how much money do you make? He's like, well, it fluctuates.
Oh, man.
Good point. And then I assume you had sex with your girlfriend pretty recently. He's like, oh, yeah, we have sex.
Oh, yeah.
Playing with her.
Oh, man.
Like, and you just turned, how old are you guys? Like, oh, I'm 21, man. It's time to go.
Can't wait to drink. Yeah.
Party tonight.
Every time. And me and Roddy would be like fucking dying. Like, oh, shit. That's all I got.
I need to stop being weird on stream. People are going to think I'm going to act like winner. That's why new people don't get invited to do these kind of things. It's like, oh, well, we invited that guy, and he ended up being a view-botting dickhead.
You, okay, real talk. You heard the hamburger story, right?
No.
Lycan? This is like the worst thing that anyone has ever done to me, I think, in my entire life. I still can't actually believe that that really happened. With the, who was the driver guy? The Armani dude?
Yeah, what is his
Oh,
name?
wait, the one with it being closed?
Yeah.
Such a good story.
Like,
It's unbelievable. I thought his name was like, wasn't it Amani or whatever? Am I making that up?
But it's something close to that. I think you're right. Someone in chat should be able to say it.
Or Arman or something?
Armin. Was it Armin?
Something like that. I don't remember.
all right, we have like a minute, 2 minutes before we have to real quick wrap up questions. Can you tell the story?
Do you want to do it, Steven, or do you want me to do it?
Yeah, you can do it. Okay, yeah.
I'll try to do it in 1 or 2 minutes. Basically, it was at the end of Home Story Cup. Long day. Sometimes you kind of skip meals because you're on the couch or you're playing or whatever. Like, it just happens. And at this Home Story Cup, we were at the party venue, which is really cool. Take did an amazing job. But we would take a shuttle from there to our like rented house or whatever you want to call it, where some of the personalities and casters were and stuff like that. End of the long day, we're like, Harmon, we're so tired, like, and we're really hungry. What's open late here in this fucking German city? And he's like, oh, there's a McDonald's that's open. We're like, really? There's a McDonald's open? He's like, yeah, man. I'll take you there right now. And we're like, okay. We all pile in the car, and we're driving there. Again, it's like 1 a.m. We're starving. We're very hungry, very tired, and just all of us latched onto the idea of McDonald's and all its glory. You know,
a fucking godsend, yeah, to get a fucking McDonald's meal when we're all fucking starved. Like, it's like the best fucking thing in the world. We couldn't even believe it.
So good. The whole time, I'm like, no, it's not open, Armin. Like, I know this city. It's like 12 a.m. or something like that. Everything closes at an ungodly hour of like 8 or 9 p.m. Like, not even close. He's like, no. He's like, I live here, man. McDonald's is open. So we're driving up. We get closer to it. He fucking, like, here's the McDonald's over here. We're on this street. He stops the car and shuts off the engine and looks at it and says, open, guys. What do you want? And it wasn't even that easy, because initially when we drove by, we all looked at it and we're like, because the lights were off, we're like, no, it's closed. Like, it's closed. And we all kind of like, we all sighed, it's fucking closed. He thought we were gonna get a fucking McDonald's tonight. It would have been fucking awesome. And then he stops the car and then looks at it, and it was like he was seeing the Matrix or whatever, and he was like, wait a second, guys. And then, like, that little spark of hope, like at any dramatic movie, in Interstellar, we're gonna match the fucking rotations. It was like one of those things, like, Armand, you know it's open? Are you real? Are you serious? It's actually open? He saw something, and he just, this guy's young. He was like 17 years old or something like that, but he had this moment of persuasive ability that transcended anything I've ever met. Because he was so sure. He was like, oh no, that's open, guys. And then he looked back at us. This young man looked back at us in the car and said, what do you guys want?
And he starts taking our fucking order. So us assholes, we're just sitting here like, oh yeah, could I get like a 10-piece? Do they have buffalo sauce here? Ask him that. Jeff is like, could I just get like 2 or 3 fucking cheeseburgers or whatever? And Roddy's like, yeah,
he's like, yes, you can have that. And fucking one guy is like, I'd like a chocolate shake. And he's like, you can have a chocolate shake, man.
Yeah. Do you think their ice cream machine is on? Oh, it's for sure on. Yeah, they'll have chocolate shake.
Do they have chicken burgers? They got chicken burgers, man. You want 2 of them? He goes, yeah, I'll have 2. He's like, you'll have 2 chicken burgers. We pull up. You've never seen a more closed place in your entire life.
It's like we roll up and it's so fucking closed. It's the most closed thing you've ever seen. This is like fucking Detroit. The project's fucking destroyed. Like, this place, there hasn't been a human soul in here for at least 4 fucking hours. All the lights are off. The windows are fucking locked. There's a big fuck off sign on the fucking drive-thru. Oh my god, it was unbelievable. So like for the next like 5 minutes, we're all in the car like screaming like, what the fuck did you see that made you think it was fucking open, dog? Holy shit.
Well, then we're like, why'd you stop the car and ask us what we wanted a block away from it? It's not even like we're not even in the parking lot or something. He just was so sure about this, and he was so happy for us that he stopped the car to draw effect. And we were all so up and down, because going there, we were like, no, there's no food. And he's like, yes, there is. And we're like, really? And then we drive past the first time, like Steven said, and we're like, no, there's no fucking hope. And then he's fucking like, he just shatters our hearts, because he's like, yes, It's absolutely open, guys. I would stake my life on it. And we're like, oh, wow. And we get there and it's not open at all.
It was unbelievable.
That sounds like some shit, man.
It was just so funny the way it went down. Because if we just drive to it, he's like, I'm sure it's open. And it's not.
It's
okay, whatever. But he stopped the fucking car and had us pour out our hearts of what we would want.
You ever think McDonald's could be such a big letdown?
It was like if you've ever read things on like how like the CIA does like psychological torture or whatever, like he must have read the same things. Like there's no such thing as like actual torture without a glimmer of hope at the end, and Armand was perfect in dangling that over our faces. Like it was ridiculous. Oh, yeah.
Oh my God.
And then there was and then in the hotel we were staying at, or the room we were staying at, there were no towels. So what we got instead was the Roddy build, which was Rotterdam would jack the, was it the heaters? He would turn on the humidifier in the room, which actually works against you, but he would jack the humidifier up to the max, and he would drag in his comforter, and he would use that to dry himself off after he got out of the shower. And he called it the Roddy build.
That was a funny house.
Yeah.
That sounds
and
fun,
we actually had to wake up at, like, I can't remember what it was. It was such a fun experience, actually. Like, Smix was in rare. She was like one of the only grills there, but she just absorbed the powers and like she had a like a cigarette dangling from her mouth and was dealing poker like for half the night. It was so fucking. I hope she doesn't get mad at me for sharing that, but yes, she's had a cigarette in her time once or twice. But she was really funny, and then at that house we were having some good laughs too. But it culminated in a bad thing because our flight was at like 5 a.m. and I fucking had to wake up at 2 or something for this international flight. And at the time, my wedding ring was a little bit too big, so I must have been in the shower with soapy hands, just like falling asleep, and it fell off. Oh. And I didn't realize until I got to my plane, like in America for my connection flight. Oh, and I just had this thing where I just touched my hand, and I touched the ring because it was loose, so I always like subconsciously was checking for it, and it's always there. And I was just like, I touch, I'm like, it's like, you know, one of those panic moments where you're like, holy fuck, that's a $1,500 mistake. Like, oh god. And of course I never found it. It's gone. It's in Germany somewhere.
Oh, that sucks.
This is number 2, and it's tight as like it won't come off unless I wiggle it around. So I'm good.
So sorry.
If it was Anna's ring, we always laugh because she makes the joke. She's like, "Oh, good. I thought I'd be the first one to lose a ring." And I'm like, "Oh no, honey. If you lose your ring, you're not getting another one. Like we'll give you like a." You know, a twine.
The guy rings and weddings are like the biggest fucking afterthought. You get ripped off so much, like.
Yes, it's not even close. Like I actually don't care about mine. Mine's pretty nice. I think it's 1,500 is actually too much. I think the first one was like 1,000. This one's like 900, and it's that's a lot of money. And it's really nice. Anna's ring is like a percentage of my yearly income that year. Like if she were to lose it, we're not replacing it. There's no way to replace something like that symbolically without being an idiot. So. She makes that joke, and she keeps like trying the waters, and I'm like, nope. Yeah, if you lose that, it's you'll wear a purple like plastic ring for the rest of your life.
We can go to Kmart and get a promise ring or whatever, and that'll be your placeholder.
Sure. A couple $100 one, yeah.
All right, guys, we only have a couple more minutes. We're gonna say our goodbyes. I swear to God, guys, I'll save these questions the next episode of the late game, the ones that haven't expired because BlizzCon's already over. We will address, but we have to wrap this up. So, Cats, what's going on with you in the future? What are you up to? Where can people find you?
You can follow me at RootCats on Twitter. Follow my team at root-gaming.com. That's our website, or at Root for Root on Twitter. And yeah, follow all of our sponsors. Be nice. That's about it. I'll be going to San Francisco later to record something for IGN with Jeff. So keep an eye on that, I guess.
Are you going to BlizzCon?
Yes, I'll be going to BlizzCon. So anyone going to BlizzCon, should be fun. Just come say hi.
I'll see you there. Jeff,
I'll actually be at a Samsung booth at the Samsung booth in BlizzCon.
Nice.
So I'll be playing Legacy of the Void there. If anyone wants to come play against me, I'll have handicaps and whatnot, and you can win cool shit.
There you go.
Awesome. Jeff, what's going on with you?
Yeah, just thanks everyone for tuning in as always. To echo Cat sentiments, we're actually Kevin Aki tweeted, so we can talk about it. We're going downtown to do a talk show about StarCraft. I think it's like a pre-BlizzCon thing, Legacy of the Void maybe. But I think they record it and then they edit it and then it airs. I want to say Friday or something like that. But just Kevin Aki tweeted out. There's questions you can ask us. So if you have more questions or discussions you want to have, go there. And then for me personally, just The next couple days, pretty, light schedule in terms of streaming and stuff like that. It will be some Legacy of the Void, although I'm going to be playing some Overwatch and other things as well, just because I'm entering into a HOTS tournament. Well, never mind. I can't.
Oh, well, too late now. That NDA is fucked.
It's a huge mystery. I don't know. Anyways, just I'll be gone for a week and a half or so, and then I'll be back. And the nice thing is that November and December, I'm not doing a lot of travel, so it'll be a lot of Legacy of the Void. Someone asked me about Wings of Liberty and HOTS campaigns, and I would say they're both pretty enjoyable. Obviously, not very difficult, and the cinematographics are amazing and awesome in the cutscenes. The story is absolute shit. I apologize if anyone from Blizzard that did that is listening. I love you, but I hate the story.
The story was bad. Oh my god, though, the Blizzard in-house art team is so fucking good, dude.
They're amazing.
I felt the same way with Diablo 3. The Blizzard in-house art team is fucking amazing. Holy shit.
Unparalleled. But the reason I played those single players is A, I never played them, but B, from what I can tell, the Legacy of the Void single player actually looks like it's going to be really baller and cool. And of course, it's the end to the story arc, so I just wanted to know as a StarCraft fan and aficionado or whatever. So I would say they're both about the same for me for different reasons. Wings of Liberty is like an 8, 7.5, and I would say the same for HOTS. They have their ups and their downs, but you should definitely play them if you haven't. Legacy of the Void's going to be awesome.
Cool. All right, Steven, last thought from you, then we got to go. Where are you going to be? What are you going to do?
I'll probably be streaming pretty shortly after this. I'm going to take a shower fast, and then, yeah, probably more Overwatch today.
Cool. Cool. All right, guys, that wraps it up for us. If you want to see some shit about Overwatch, you can stick around. We have Elohim coming on. He's going to be on the show. So I'm literally going to cut the stream, put up the new overlays, and then bring it back. Show starts in 30 minutes. So Jeff, Steven, thank you guys for being my co-hosts as always. Cats, thank you for taking the time to come on and sticking with us after your topic. And hopefully we'll have you guys on. Again, no Reddit questions just because we're about to go, and I gotta get this set up now. So thank you guys, and we'll see you soon. Bye.
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 See you guys. See you later.